This is Andy Sernovitz. I am here with Rick Murray, who is the word-of-mouth guru at Edelman, and he just did a guest lecture to my class at Northwestern. Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Andy. How are you?
All right. So what's getting you excited about this whole word-of-mouth thing?
Well, the whole thing's getting me excited. I mean, I think it's fundamentally transforming how we do business, and so for me, I think it's an absolutely fabulous time to be in business, and we're finding that it's an absolutely fabulous way to communicate and connect with people.
So what out of all the different social media and networks and blogs and all this stuff, what's getting your clients excited? I mean, what actually works outside the theory? What's the hands-on?
Well, I think that varies by client, right? So you've got clients that are more consumer-oriented, reaching a demographic that might be younger, and social networks and blogging are a fabulous way to reach them. I think you've got clients that might play in regulated spaces that might need slightly more control in how they're getting engaged. But all the way from monitoring and sort of more controlled environments like podcasts and so on are definitely being explored in there. But I mean, the one constant that runs throughout all that is I think all clients are starting to embrace conversation and the need for conversation and dialogue as a way to really connect with people on an ongoing basis.
So what do you think is coming down the pipe? I mean, what are the promising new venues, forums, tools, things, or what are the scary ones that might be coming down?
Well, I think a couple of things. One, I think that we're going to find ourselves in a much more global environment and much more global interaction between communities. Two, I think that the social network phenomenon, which has clearly been driven by MySpace and Facebook and in Korea, Cyworld and sites like that are absolutely going to continue. And I think you'll start to see, maybe some weeding out of maybe the smaller sites in that space. But there's no question that social networks are here to stay. And I think third, the other area that I really see a huge explosion in the next year or two is video. And more use of video and more sites in different ways. So I think that whether you look at what Google may or may not be doing with YouTube, to video now showing up on Facebook, to the network showing up on MySpace, you're going to see more and more use of video there and on the third screen, mobile. And
like this little interview right here. So,
what's that?
Like this interview
right here, absolutely.
All right. Well, anything else you want to add?
The only other thing I guess I'd like to sort of talk to, and we didn't really address much in the class, is we're spending an awful lot of time thinking about mobile and where we go with that, because amongst other things, I think something like 18 or 20% of the world's population might have access to a computer in one way, shape, or form, but and that might even be high. But I think that the number relative to mobile is closer to 50%. And if you think about that as a means of communication, you've just essentially at least tripled your audience, going from one platform to the other. So I think that figuring out how to communicate and connect with people on mobile in a non-interruptive and a very collaborative way is something that we're definitely looking at.
Great. Well, thanks a lot.
Hey, man.